Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to install the plastic engine bay covers and the rubber grommets that cover the holes that allow you to see through to the wheel well from the engine bay area on pre-facelift B9 A4s. Now unfortunately most of this video will be voiced over since the original audio had mostly wind noise when I was recording. On this side you can see that I have not installed the cover yet. This is the original piece that comes on both sides on the B9s. Here is the piece that I haven't installed yet. You will need to trim this tab off in order to have these sit properly. I used a pair of cuticle trimmers. However, any sort of trimmer that is going to allow you to have a flush cut of that tab will work perfectly fine. Now notice those two pieces sticking up there. Those pieces are going to be resting on the metal surface in the engine bay, so any dirt that gets in there and vibration caused from driving will potentially scratch the surface of the paint. I will be putting on 3M double-sided tape over those later in the video. To remove the original plastic piece, I used a flat trim removal tool. In doing so, I broke the middle tab off. However, since I won't be reusing these pieces, this won't be a problem. Here you can see the original piece still on the vehicle. To remove, I inserted the trim removal tool from the top and pried up. Working my way down, you will hear each tab pop out of the hole in the sheet metal. On this side you can see the rubber along the edge there matches the rubber on the pieces on the car from factory. On the hood you can see the marks where the original piece is, and then there's a piece on the hood that also has a rubber seal. Now since the newly installed piece has a rubber seal as well, this should help reduce the amount of dirt that gets into the engine bay. Now I also bought these rubber grommets. These are factory Audi pieces as well, and they replaced the plastic covers that you can see here. Now, the way that the plastic cover is designed, there are 3 holes where the clips are that hold it in place. These holes allow dirt to come up from the wheel well into the engine bay and contribute to the amount of grime buildup. You can see that there's a hinge that allows you to flip up this plastic cover. However, I will be trimming along that edge to remove it. Here you can see I'm test fitting the rubber grommet. It fits perfectly, so I know that I can remove that plastic piece. However, please note that when I was bending this up like that, it actually cracked along the hinged edge. Since I'm removing this piece, it doesn't matter to me, but if you plan on keeping the plastic piece there, just keep that in mind. Here you can see through the opening to where all the suspension components are. Notice all the dirt buildup around the opening. That's because the plastic piece does not have an actual seal on it. Here the grommet is installed. I used the same trimmers as before to trim off the hinge. I got as close as possible to the edge, and it is actually very smooth, so there is no need for further touch-up. However, if you want to, feel free to take some sandpaper and smooth that edge out. I'll most likely hold on to this piece for a little bit just to make sure that if the rubber grommet does somehow pop out and get lost, I have something to cover that until I can order a new one. However, I plan on throwing these pieces away. Here's what it looks like from underneath. Now I'm going to throw some pictures up on screen. That way you can see how they look with and without the covers. The reason you have to remove that tab is because there is no hole on the pre-facelift B9s for it to go into. You can see here it's just going to hit the metal and the cover won't lay flush like it should. Those other 2 pieces next to the tab can remain. They're just going to be resting on the metal surface. those also provide some extra support so the piece doesn't sag. The inner edge of the cover is also rubber, just like the outside edge, so there's no need to worry about that rubbing on the paint. You can see those tabs go into those two oval holes right there, and then that circular tab right there goes to that hole there closest to the headlight. See a few more holes and a few more tabs, and those line up perfectly. And this is what it is going to look like once I trim that tab off. And I still need to remove this cover as well. Here you can see that I've put some 3M double-sided tape over those pieces right there. This is definitely not necessary. This is just me hoping that I can prevent some potential scratching on the metal surface due to dirt that might get in there and vibrations from driving. A better solution would be to put some adhesive-backed felt lining over those. However, I don't know how durable that will be in the long run, and the 3M tape that I put on might fall apart as well, so we shall see. Now, taking a look at the cover that I already installed, you can see here that since those plastic nubs are intact, this sits nice and flush and doesn't go down at all when I push on it. If you do remove those nubs, there is potential for this piece to be sagging. However, it probably won't matter all that much as the hood will be closed most of the time. I'm going to throw a picture up here on screen so you can see the final product.